Jesus ate fish.
Plants have feelings too.
Don't you need protein?
We have canines for eating meat. Here's some vegan comeback.
I'm Dani.
I'm NISHA.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Hannah. And this is
The
Vegan View. Cheers. Hey guys, welcome back to the Vegan View. So you probably hear a lot of these things when you tell people that you're vegan. So we thought we would put together some fun little comebacks that you can keep in your back pocket for the next time somebody says something to you. And if there are any here that we haven't mentioned, go ahead and leave them down below in the comments so we can make more future videos if you like this one.
So we asked in our Facebook groups what are some of the things that you guys hear the most as vegans. So we're going to just go through some of those and just tell you what we say when we hear people say these things. Okay, guys. But if we stopped eating animals, they'd take over the earth from overpopulation.
So what I say to that is that we're not going to stop, the whole world isn't going to stop eating animals overnight. The demand for animals isn't just going to drop off. It's going to happen slowly. It's a supply and demand thing. So
Yeah,
that's
we're
kind of a silly thing.
artificially inseminating animals. That's why there's so many of them.
Yeah, it's not like we would naturally have as many cows and pigs as we do right now.
We have
because
billions every year.
They're artificially inseminating them every single day. So to tie it up, you can always just say animal agriculture is an industry, and just like any industry, when there's less demand, there's less supply, and it will go down gradually.
Vegetables are alive, or plants have feelings too. I get this one all the
I
time.
hate this one. Does my broccoli scream when I boil it? No. Plants are not sentient beings, meaning they can't feel pain, which is why when we pull them from the ground, they don't scream. When we cut them and cook them, they don't scream. So even though they're technically living beings, they don't feel pain. To me, that's what veganism is all about. Right. I think Earthling Ed has an amazing talk about this. He has a 30 days and 30 excuses post on his website, and we'll link it down below. And it's all these different reasons that you guys get all the time, and he goes really into depth about the plants feel pain kind of thing. And he tells whoever asks him this, plants don't have a central nervous system. They can't process or feel pain. And even if they did, it wouldn't make sense to do so because plants can't get up and move away from pain like living beings.
I always say too, if a human being stops eating animal products, they're going to be okay, they're going to be healthy. If a human being stops eating plants, they're not going to be okay and they're not going to be healthy.
My absolute favorite one to get asked is, where do you get your protein? Because we're all really protein deficient, and I have a panic attack about it every day.
Yeah.
What I like to say is that I get my protein where your protein gets your protein, but I just skip the middleman and I go straight to the source. I love that so much. Yeah,
Cows
that's the
that
best
one a lot.
answer. Yeah, cows eat tons of plants, and you wonder where do they get all these amino acids that make up a cow? It's from their diet. And every single animal we eat is a vegetarian. They eat stuff from the ground, so exactly what you said, you're just skipping the middleman.
I also like when people say, do you know anyone with a protein deficiency? Because if you're eating enough calories, you're getting enough protein.
There's also a really great book called Protein-aholic, which is about how our culture is obsessed with protein as a nutrient. We should be focused on all of the nutrients, getting them every day, and not just focusing on one single one and making that one better than the other ones. That's really a marketing thing that has been used against us, especially since a lot of us, don't take the time. I didn't really know a lot about nutrition before I went vegan. And so it's like you just hear it and you think, oh, protein must be good for you, but you don't really understand that it's part of a complete puzzle and it's just one piece. So we have this idea that we need to get a ton of it, and it actually is really dangerous to get too much protein. So I usually say that, especially when men say, well, I need a lot of protein because I'm a guy and I can't be vegan because of that. And it's like, well, you might be hurting yourself by eating that much protein.
Yeah, there's more and more young men coming in with kidney disorders and kidney failure because of all the protein in our diet today. We're eating way more protein than we ever have in the history of human beings.
So a lot of people will argue that we have sharp canines because we are intended to eat meat. Do you guys get that? I get that a lot. To that I always say, we have something called a steak knife. Why do you need a steak knife if you're intended to be able to chew through? And it's not even just the meat. You're supposed to be able, if you're a true carnivore, you're supposed to be able to eat the animal in its whole form, its skin, its fur, its tendons, its ligaments, its bones,
also,
all of that
stuff.
stuff.
Also, who the flip is eating a steak, with their canines? Who's eating it from the side? That makes no freaking sense. You cut it with a knife and you put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
You're not ripping it off the bone with your hands, using your canines.
And if you are,
do you? If you're into it, it's like a fetish. Our teeth are actually a lot more similar to herbivore species as well, though. horses have very similar teeth
Like
to ours,
in
like the
line.
flat, whereas lions have very pointy, sharp teeth.
Look at a cat's teeth and then look at your teeth. They're not the same. Kind of on the same similar topic, a lot of people for some reason bring up lions. Like they're the top of the animal food chain and they eat meat, and why would that have anything to do with us? Like, I don't even know why people bring that up.
A lot of people say it's like natural to eat meat because other animals eat animals. That's actually a comment we got a lot.
It's always lions. Why?
I don't know why it's lions.
I think it's
Because
human
they're like-
hubris.
I mean,
we're
you
as
look
cool
kind
as
of like a lion with that like golden, gorgeous hair, that little mane. But like that's where the resemblance.
We're nothing.
That's it.
We're not even close to lions. Like, we're closer to gorillas. And
Yeah.
No, but I really think it's ego, because you look at like a big, strong
It's
lion,
just-
top of the food chain, and you think that like we're humans, we're top of the food chain.
Also,
It's
like,
ridiculous.
Lions commit infanticide and raped and are not punished for it. So, I mean, like, if you want to base your moral compass off of a lion, I think there are deeper concerns.
Good luck with that.
I think my favorite thing to do when I was like thinking about going vegan was just looking at the anatomy of carnivores and herbivores or omnivores, whatever you want to call them, and they're so different. Like, our digestive system, for one, is nothing like a lion's. So if you want to just look at that.
And our digestive enzymes, like even just
Yeah,
the stuff that breaks
nothing.
down.
We're built like omnivores, but omnivores don't have to eat meat.
Yeah.
We're eating meat like a carnivore. We're eating so much of it.
Yeah. One of the things that you guys mentioned, and one of the things I get all the time, is our ancestors ate meat. So we are evolved to eat meat. What do you guys say to that?
That one drives me nuts, because I feel like most early humans were mostly frugivorous. Like, they ate mostly fruit, and they scavenged. Like, they didn't have a grocery store to go to, so they ate what was available to them. But even when they did eat meat, it was small. I mean, even like chimpanzees will eat like ants and lizards and stuff, and it's not like every single meal, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, there was an animal-based protein the way that we eat now. It's kind of comparing two completely separate things.
Yeah, I always say they actually hunted and gathered their own food back then, and you're just going to a grocery store and buying a prepackaged piece of meat. We're not doing
Paying someone
anything
else.
the same.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone watches Naked and Afraid, but I do. And they talk a lot about how, like, when they're put in these different situations, they're living off the land. There's an energy expenditure, like, to hunt. It takes way more effort than to go and grab some berries off a tree or to go, like, eat a root out of the ground.
That's a really good point.
And so there's only in times of absolute starvation people would eat meat, or they're scavenging it from someone else killing it. And we're not doing that now. We're not trying to survive in this day and age. We're trying to thrive. And it's like, when people say that, it's like, did we stop evolving? Are we no longer evolving? Do you not want to get better as a human race and as a species?
like, why go back?
Yeah.
Back in the day, they would kill one animal and they would share it with like the whole tribe. It wouldn't be like one person's meal like how it is now, you know?
Mike the Vegan has a really, really good video about this and has a like really concise way of talking about it. He says, why eat to survive when we're living in a time to thrive?
I love that.
And I really like saying that to people who ask about our ancestors eating meat. One person can't make a difference, so why go vegan? So this is actually true. One person can't make a difference. But when you think of it, each of us is one person, and by living authentically and being vegan and spreading that, it's kind of catches on. One person can't make a difference, but together we can change the world.
It's a chain reaction effect. Like, sometimes there are times where I'll be honest, I'm like, why do I talk about being vegan so much? Like, and I'm afraid that I'm embarrassing my friends or family by talking about it so much. But then every now and then I'll get like a friend that tells me they thought about going vegan because of me, or like a message about somebody saying that they wanted to go vegan. And that to me is like, that's why I talk about it. That's why it's so worth it to me. If I can just have one person think about going vegan or go vegan from me talking about it, then it's worth it, because then that one person is going to go on to make their own chain reaction effect by talking about it to their friends and family. And then, I mean, that's what culture is. So I think, yeah, maybe me, myself, I'm not making a huge difference as far as the amount of animals that are being consumed in this world, but I think it's the chain reaction effect that makes the difference.
And you don't know what seed you're planting just by saying the word vegan.
Or just by being vegan.
Yeah. When I even like go to a restaurant and I ask for a vegan option, I'm always very conscious, like even if you don't know someone in your direct personal life that you've, you know, introduced to veganism or planted the seed with, even just like someone at the table next to you could have maybe heard you say that, and then that was like the last thing they needed to hear to do the research tomorrow, or, you know, the waitress is going to be maybe thinking about it that day and maybe eat less animals that day because you said the word vegan. So, and we were just talking about earlier today about how our vegan journeys all started so much before we actually went vegan. And the person who I first ever heard use the word vegan and like introduce it to me probably doesn't even know that they were the one who planted the seed in my head like over 10 years ago, you know?
If what I did by not eating animals didn't make a difference at all in the world, I feel better myself, like in a selfish way. My soul is happier. I'm a happier person. I feel healthier. So, I mean, that's got to count for something.
Yeah. And I always pull up those, we'll put some in the description box links because there's so many, but they have these cute little diagrams of, you know, 1 year of being vegan. You've saved this much water. You've helped the environment in this and that way. You've not killed this many animals. And you can really see that one person does make a difference. A small difference, but a difference. And all the people, like you said, that you affect, all those people make a difference, and it does add up. I don't think change has to be in extremes, like it's either a huge change or no change. I think change can be small and incremental, and it adds up to big change. So,
and when you think about it, I think a really good way to talk to someone who's really thinking that going vegan as one person doesn't make a difference is to tell them, when you think about it, any brand... Jesse! He doesn't like peas, okay? Let's just admit it.
Just admit it.
That was so passive-aggressive.
hey, we ordered peas for lunch. Good?
You go with peas for lunch?
He's pretending he can't hear us.
Okay, what was I saying?
Oh.
Something beautiful.
Yeah, it's like really working.
It was my moment. God. A good way to address those people who tell you one person going vegan won't make any difference is that when you really think about it, any grand scale societal change has started with one person giving a whole lot of F's about something and finding other people who really care a whole lot about that thing and changing the world. And that is what we want on this channel.
Aww.
We want to bring like-minded people who are positive about veganism and who want to build upon being vegan and change the world together.
That's like the quote from the Lorax that I love. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's gonna get better. It's not.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We want to know what comments you guys get all the time when people find out that you're vegan, and also how you respond. So let us know in the comments, and chime in on the Facebook group too. We'll leave a link for that in the description box below, and we will see you next Monday. Bye.
Bye.